Imagine waking up every day unsure if your job will still exist tomorrow. In 2026, this isn't a nightmare, it's reality. Technology, automation, and economic uncertainty have reshaped the workforce, leaving millions feeling insecure, anxious, and constantly on edge. Jobs that were once considered stable are disappearing, replaced by machines, algorithms, or sudden corporate decisions. So why does no one feel secure anymore? Today, we're diving deep into the 2026 job crisis, uncovering the forces behind it, the human toll, and what you can do to survive in a world where stability is no longer guaranteed. In 2026, job security feels like a relic of the past. A generation that once believed in lifelong careers now faces a landscape of uncertainty and constant change. Employees across industries are questioning the traditional promise that hard work guarantees stability. The truth is, in today's economy, no one is truly safe from layoffs, automation, or sudden economic shifts. Companies are more agile, yes, but that agility comes at the cost of employee certainty. Technological advancement is a major factor. Artificial intelligence, machine learning, and robotics are transforming workplaces at a speed few can match. Positions that were considered stable, from administrative roles to technical specialists, are being reevaluated. Employers increasingly rely on software to manage tasks once handled by humans, creating efficiencies but also reducing human dependency. The impact is not limited to low-skilled work. Even skilled professionals are facing competition from AI capable of outperforming humans in complex problem-solving.
Economic factors also play a significant role. The global market is interconnected more than ever, meaning a disruption in one country can ripple worldwide. Inflation, rising interest rates, and geopolitical tensions create uncertainty for employers and employees alike. Companies adjust by cutting costs, freezing hiring, or downsizing departments that were once considered essential. Even seemingly recession-proof industries, such as healthcare or IT, are feeling the pressure to streamline operations, leaving workers uneasy. Another key factor is the shift in employment models. Gig work, contract-based roles, and freelance opportunities have replaced permanent positions in many sectors. Flexibility for employers often translates to instability for employees. Benefits, retirement plans, and career progression that were standard now often require negotiation or are completely absent. Workers are left to manage not only their professional development, but also financial security on their own, adding stress to already unpredictable careers.
Psychologically, this erosion of security affects morale and productivity. Employees are aware that a single misstep could jeopardize their livelihood, making them risk-averse and anxious. Burnout has risen as people work longer hours to stay relevant, constantly updating skills to avoid obsolescence. In such an environment, loyalty is fragile. Workers are less likely to stay with one employer, and companies, in turn, are cautious about investing deeply in staff. The cultural narrative around careers has also shifted. Past generations viewed work as a linear progression. Start entry-level, climb the ladder, retire comfortably. Today, that narrative is broken. Young professionals are entering an ecosystem where lateral moves, portfolio careers, and skill reinvention are the norm. Even experienced professionals are reconsidering the meaning of stability. Security is no longer guaranteed by title, tenure, or experience. It is contingent upon adaptability and foresight. Ultimately, the 2026 job crisis isn't just about unemployment, it's about insecurity. The modern worker faces a paradox. The world offers more opportunities than ever, yet fewer guarantees. To survive and thrive, employees must recognize the reality of this changing landscape embrace lifelong learning, and redefine what career stability means in a world that no longer promises it. Job security, once a given, has become a moving target, and those who ignore this truth do so at their peril. The rise of automation in 2026 has transformed the workforce in ways that were unimaginable a decade ago. Robots, artificial intelligence, and advanced algorithms now handle a growing share of tasks across sectors. From manufacturing floors to corporate offices, machines outperform humans in precision, speed, and consistency. While automation boosts efficiency and reduces operational costs, it leaves a growing number of workers exposed to redundancy. White-collar roles are not immune. AI systems now perform data analysis, draft reports, manage customer interactions, and even assist with legal research. Tasks that once required specialized education or years of experience can now be executed by machines in seconds. For employees, this means that traditional measures of job security, such as expertise and tenure, are no longer sufficient to guarantee stability. Humans are now competing with software designed to be faster, cheaper, and more reliable. Automation has also changed the nature of skill requirements. Employers increasingly value adaptability, creativity, and complex problem-solving, traits machines struggle with. However, reskilling and upskilling programs have not kept pace with the speed of technological change. Workers who fail to transition into roles that complement automation face displacement, often with limited support. The divide between those who can leverage technology and those who are replaced by it is growing, fueling anxiety and uncertainty.
Economic incentives drive this shift further. Companies are pressured to reduce costs and improve productivity. Automation provides a clear solution: fewer human employees, fewer payroll costs, and fewer liabilities. For example, self-checkout machines, automated customer service bots, and AI-driven logistics reduce dependence on human labor. While these solutions benefit corporations, they exacerbate the instability faced by employees, creating a climate where no role feels secure. The psychological impact of automation cannot be understated. The fear of obsolescence affects career choices, performance, and mental health. Workers constantly evaluate whether their skills will remain relevant, and this stress can hinder long-term planning. The traditional model of moving up the corporate ladder is being replaced by a cycle of continuous adaptation, where staying in a role may require constant retraining and technological literacy.
Moreover, automation reshapes power dynamics in the workplace. Companies have more leverage over employees because they can replace roles with technology rather than negotiate better terms. This imbalance weakens job security, as employees have less bargaining power. Even those in stable positions feel pressure to perform above expectations, knowing that machines or outsourced labor may take over if they falter. Society, too, grapples with the consequences. With fewer guaranteed jobs, governments and institutions must rethink social safety nets, unemployment programs, and education systems. However, many policies lag behind the pace of technological change. Workers are caught in a gap. The labor market evolves rapidly, while protective structures remain slow, leaving insecurity as the default state.
In essence, automation is redefining the meaning of work. It is not just replacing tasks, it is changing career trajectories, skill requirements, and economic stability. In 2026, the human workforce must adapt or risk obsolescence. The challenge is no longer merely performing work, it is aligning human potential with technological capabilities to survive in a world where machines increasingly dominate the workplace. Global economic volatility in 2026 is intensifying the job crisis. Traditional patterns of growth and stability are disrupted by multiple factors: inflation, interest rate fluctuations, geopolitical instability, and rapid market shifts. Businesses operate in a climate of uncertainty, making hiring and retention unpredictable. Workers are no longer insulated from global events. A crisis in one region can ripple worldwide,
leading to layoffs, reduced hours, or frozen hiring.
Inflation has hit many economies, reducing purchasing power and forcing companies to reallocate resources. Rising costs mean that organizations prioritize efficiency and cost-cutting over expansion or workforce growth. Hiring freezes and downsizing are common strategies to maintain profitability, leaving employees anxious about their positions. Even essential roles are scrutinized, and bonuses, benefits, or promotions become uncertain. Geopolitical tensions also play a major role. Trade wars, sanctions, and regional conflicts affect supply chains, investment, and corporate strategy. Companies exposed to global markets must adapt quickly, often by reducing workforce expenditures. Multinational organizations may relocate jobs, outsource tasks, or restructure entirely to minimize risk. Employees face not only local economic pressure, but also global forces beyond their control.
Corporate restructuring has become a standard response to volatility. Mergers and acquisitions, department consolidations, and strategic pivots can render roles redundant overnight. Employees with long tenures suddenly find themselves without a position as companies pursue agility and profit. The sense of loyalty, once a two-way street, has eroded. Stability is no longer an expectation. It is a temporary privilege subject to market forces. The rise of remote work adds complexity. While remote roles offer flexibility, they also make employees more expendable. Companies can tap global talent pools, increasing competition and putting downward pressure on wages. Workers are constantly compared to lower-cost alternatives abroad, undermining job security even in previously insulated sectors. Remote work, once a perk, now carries hidden risks in terms of employment stability.
Psychologically, economic volatility fuels stress and uncertainty. Individuals postpone major life decisions, buying homes, starting families, or pursuing further education because they fear sudden job loss. Mental health challenges rise as insecurity becomes chronic, impacting productivity and engagement. The societal expectation that hard work ensures security no longer holds true. Adaptability and financial foresight become survival skills. Furthermore, volatility reinforces inequality. High-skill workers in adaptable industries may navigate economic shocks with minimal disruption, while low- and mid-skill employees face persistent risk. The growing disparity between those who can weather instability and those who cannot contributes to social tension, anxiety, and a collective sense of insecurity. Ultimately, economic volatility underscores a fundamental truth. Job security in 2026 is contingent, not guaranteed. Workers must adopt strategies to mitigate risk, including diversification of skills, continuous learning, and financial prudence. The modern professional landscape rewards flexibility, resilience, and proactive planning. In this climate, no one feels secure, not because of incompetence or laziness, but because global forces have made stability increasingly elusive. The 2026 job crisis is not just an economic problem, it is a human one. Anxiety, stress, and burnout are now endemic among workers facing uncertainty about their livelihoods. When the sense of security vanishes, it affects more than finances. It erodes mental health, relationships, and overall quality of life. The psychological impact is profound, touching every aspect of daily existence. Workers are constantly evaluating their skills, monitoring market trends, and preparing for the next disruption, leaving little room for rest or personal growth.
Chronic job insecurity produces tangible stress. People fear that a single mistake, missed deadline, or automation update could end their careers. This hypervigilance leads to burnout, which in turn reduces productivity, creativity, and satisfaction. The paradox is clear. As employees try harder to secure their positions, their well-being suffers, creating a cycle that benefits no one. Companies gain short-term productivity, but lose long-term engagement and loyalty. The social consequences extend beyond the workplace. Families face instability as income uncertainty disrupts household planning. Parents delay education, childcare, and housing decisions. Young adults postpone career choices or family formation, fearing instability.
This shift has long-term demographic implications, influencing population growth, urban development, and social dynamics. Communities once centered around stable employment are increasingly transient, with people moving frequently in search of opportunities.
Job insecurity also erodes trust between employers and employees. When layoffs, restructuring, and automation become routine, workers are less likely to invest emotionally in a company. Loyalty, once a cornerstone of organizational culture, is replaced by opportunism and constant self-preservation. Engagement drops, innovation declines, and companies face higher turnover. Ironically, the very strategies designed to maintain profitability can destabilize the workforce further, creating a feedback loop of insecurity. Society at large is affected. The perception that no one is safe fosters fear and competition, undermining social cohesion. Workers are less likely to take risks, start businesses, or pursue unconventional careers. The collective ambition of a generation can stagnate when survival becomes the primary goal. Anxiety spreads, influencing everything from consumer behavior to political attitudes. Social unrest can increase when large segments of the population feel economically vulnerable and underrepresented.
Education systems and training programs struggle to keep pace with these changes. Schools and universities prepare students for careers that may no longer exist or require skills outdated within a few years. Lifelong learning is no longer optional, it is essential. Yet access to continuous education and training is uneven, exacerbating inequality. Those unable to adapt quickly find themselves excluded from the modern economy, heightening both personal and societal risk. In short, the 2026 job crisis is not a distant threat, it is a lived reality. Economic shifts, technological disruption, and corporate restructuring have made job insecurity a defining feature of modern life. The human cost is high. Stress, burnout, delayed life plans, and eroded trust shape the daily experience of millions. Understanding this reality is the first step toward addressing it. Workers, employers, and policymakers alike must recognize that the stakes are not merely financial, they are profoundly human. In response to the 2026 job crisis, companies and governments are experimenting with strategies to stabilize workforces, yet solutions remain inconsistent. Employers face pressure to maintain competitiveness while retaining talent, and governments are challenged to protect citizens in a volatile labor market. Both sectors are taking steps, but the measures often lag behind the rapid pace of disruption, leaving workers caught in the middle. Corporations are rethinking workforce management. Some invest in reskilling programs, helping employees transition to roles less vulnerable to automation. Others adopt flexible work arrangements, including remote and hybrid options, to access a broader talent pool while reducing costs. Upskilling initiatives are targeted at high-demand areas, such as AI management, data analytics, and digital marketing. While these programs can preserve careers, participation is often uneven, leaving some workers behind.
However, many companies prioritize short-term efficiency over long-term security. Automation, outsourcing, and contract labor remain cost-saving strategies, with permanent roles increasingly scarce. Loyalty incentives, bonuses, and benefits are redesigned to be conditional, creating a workforce that is both motivated and anxious. Employees navigate a landscape where opportunity exists, but stability is never guaranteed. Governments, meanwhile, are exploring policy interventions. Social safety nets, including unemployment benefits and wage subsidies, aim to cushion shocks. Retraining programs funded by public resources attempt to bridge the skills gap. Some countries experiment with universal basic income trials to provide a baseline of economic security, acknowledging that traditional employment may no longer suffice. Yet funding constraints, political disagreements, and bureaucratic inefficiency often limit effectiveness.
Public-private partnerships are emerging as a potential solution. Companies collaborate with educational institutions to create continuous learning pipelines, aligning workforce training with market demand. These initiatives can provide a roadmap for workers, but adoption varies across industries and regions. In sectors where disruption is rapid, the challenge is keeping the pace of retraining aligned with evolving job requirements. Additionally, labor unions and advocacy groups are seeking new relevance. Collective bargaining increasingly focuses on job security clauses, access to training, and protection against arbitrary automation-induced layoffs. Workers are pushing for contracts that guarantee retraining support and career transition assistance. While progress is slow, these efforts signal a growing recognition that traditional employment models must evolve to meet 21st century realities.
Despite these initiatives, the overall response remains fragmented. Companies, governments, and institutions are reactive rather than proactive. Workers are still forced to navigate uncertainty largely on their own. The challenge is structural, adapting policies, training programs, and corporate practices to a labor market defined by disruption, technology, and economic volatility. Without coordinated effort, insecurity persists. Ultimately, responses exist, but they are partial and uneven. While some workers benefit from reskilling, flexible work, or income support, many remain vulnerable. The 2026 job crisis has catalyzed innovation in workforce policy, but implementation lags behind disruption. The landscape of employment is changing faster than protections can adapt, leaving a generation of workers to navigate uncertainty with resilience, adaptability, and foresight.
In a world where no job feels secure, surviving the 2026 crisis requires strategy, adaptability, and foresight. Workers must take control of their careers, embrace lifelong learning, and diversify skills to remain relevant. Stability is no longer a gift of tenure. It is a personal responsibility shaped by proactive choices and continuous adaptation. The first step is skill diversification. Specialization remains valuable, but flexibility is essential. Workers should acquire complementary skills that AI and automation cannot easily replicate, such as critical thinking, creativity, emotional intelligence, and interpersonal communication. Developing expertise in multiple domains reduces vulnerability, creating career resilience and positioning individuals to pivot as industries evolve.
Continuous learning is equally vital. Formal education is no longer sufficient. Online courses, certifications, workshops, and practical experience allow workers to stay current. Industries change rapidly, and employees who anticipate trends, learn emerging technologies, and adopt new methodologies maintain a competitive advantage. The ability to learn quickly is now a more critical asset than tenure or prior experience. Financial prudence also plays a crucial role. Job insecurity means that savings, emergency funds, and diversified income streams are essential. Freelance work, side projects, or investments can provide financial buffers and reduce dependence on a single employer. Workers who plan for disruption can navigate periods of instability without significant personal hardship, enhancing both confidence and decision-making capacity.
Networking and personal branding are additional strategies. Building professional relationships, cultivating a strong online presence, and actively seeking opportunities increase resilience. Visibility in the labor market ensures that talent is recognized and sought after, even amid volatility. Connections often provide early warnings of shifts, openings, and emerging roles, offering a strategic advantage in uncertain times. Mental health and adaptability must not be overlooked. The psychological toll of insecurity is substantial. Workers should prioritize self-care, stress management, and realistic goal setting. Resilient individuals approach change not as a threat, but as an opportunity for growth. Flexibility, optimism, and proactive planning differentiate those who thrive from those who falter in an unstable market.
Finally, strategic foresight is crucial. Anticipating market trends, understanding industry shifts, and aligning career paths with future demand allows individuals to navigate disruption intelligently. Workers should not wait for change to impact them directly. They must forecast risks and opportunities and take deliberate action to remain employable and relevant. The 2026 job crisis may seem overwhelming, but it also presents opportunities for those willing to adapt. Security is no longer granted by employers or institutions. It is created through knowledge, skill, foresight, and resilience. Workers who embrace lifelong learning, diversify abilities, cultivate networks, and maintain financial and psychological health can survive and even thrive amid uncertainty. The reality is clear. No job is completely safe, but adaptability is a choice.
In 2026, workers define their own security through action, planning, and continuous growth. Those who accept change, embrace learning, and proactively manage careers will not only endure the crisis, but emerge stronger, more versatile, and fully prepared for the unpredictable future of work. The era of guaranteed stability is over, but opportunity still exists for those who seize it. The 2026 job crisis has changed everything about work, careers, and security. The world no longer promises stability, but it does offer opportunity for those who are adaptable, skilled, and proactive. Job security isn't something handed to you, it's something you create through learning, foresight, and resilience. The question is, are you ready to take control of your future, or will you be left behind? In an era where no one feels safe, your actions, your preparation, and your adaptability will define your survival and success.